A question that we almost always get asked by our clients is, how long is this going to take? What can I expect? When can I start my next chapter? And there's no concrete answer to that question, but the truth is it probably longer than you want it to. What does that mean? Well, on average, a divorce in Connecticut takes about 12 months. It's an average. Could be a lot less, could be a lot more. Where's yours going to fall? It's really difficult to know because it depends on so many different factors, both some that we're in control of and many that we're not. At the end of the day, however you choose to get divorced, litigation, collaborative, mediation, there's always a negotiation happening along the way. Even in a litigated divorce where it's been filed with the court, we're still doing our level best to reach an agreement, and we're doing our level best to avoid a trial to determine the outcome of your divorce. So it's a negotiation, and along the way, you're going to have to make decisions about what you're willing to compromise on so that you can get something else that's more important to you or be done. Like any negotiation, there's almost always a deal to be had. There's always an offer on the table that means we could accept it and be done today. It doesn't mean that you're going to be happy with the terms of it. And one of our jobs as divorce attorneys is to be very clear about whether something is, in our opinion, a good deal or a bad deal, whether something, in our opinion, is something a judge would accept or not accept, and in the event of people not agreeing, where would a court come down on that issue? But at the end of the day, you're going to have choices and decisions to make along the way that will affect not just the outcome, but how long it takes. But we would be doing a disservice to our clients if we didn't tell them the truth of how long they typically take, both because, again, things that we can control, getting offers over to the other side and responding to offers that we may get from them, and things that we can't. Court calendars, how quickly things get turned around by the attorney that your spouse may choose, bunch of other factors, just life generally. But at the end of the day, you are going to be making decisions along the way, and some things that might start off being very important to you at the beginning, you might be willing to let go down the road, compromise on, who knows? It's your life, these are your decisions, and it's our job as your divorce attorneys to give you sound legal information and legal advice so that you can make those decisions in an informed way, and whether that means that yours takes less than the average or more, what's more important is that you are able to make decisions based on good information, good advice, so that you can start building the future that you want to build for yourself and your children. And it takes as long as it takes to get to that. In the context of a divorce, there are a lot of factors that are in our control as your divorce attorneys, and there are many that aren't. We are not in charge of the court's calendar, and sometimes, depending on what court you're in Connecticut, they're able to schedule things very quickly. Sometimes they're not. We are not in control of how your spouse's attorney may or may not behave, how they communicate, if they're timely in getting things to us, to the court, that need to be filed as part of your divorce proceeding. We're not in control of those things. We are in control of how we behave, how we communicate. We are in control of how quickly we are getting things filed with the court, how quickly we are getting things over to opposing counsel. We're in control of those things, and we're certainly in control of how we conduct ourselves as our clients, in control of how they conduct themselves. But there are many things that we are simply not in control of. And it's our job to be honest with our clients about that, and not pretend that we're superheroes who don't have to worry about any other contributing factors, that we can just plow our way through to the other side of a divorce and get it done in the timeline that would make everybody happy. Telling you the truth in the beginning so that you can manage your expectations, not just about the process itself, but also how long it can take and what can make it go faster and what can slow it down, so that to the extent that you are in control of some of those things, you can manage your behavior, your thinking in accordance with your goals. And sometimes that means it's going to take longer than you hope because there are things you aren't willing to compromise on. And sometimes, in light of real information about how long these things can take, there might be things that you are willing to compromise on because it's more important to you to just be done and get on with your life. But at the end of the day, it's just important to know that there are things the best attorney in the country isn't in control of in any whether it's divorce or any other legal matter. And it's our job to just be honest with you about that, so that we can concentrate on the things that we can control and not spend time and energy worrying about the things that we can't. People often ask what are some things that they can do to expedite their divorce. And really, sometimes it's just simple homework. There are things that we're going to need from our clients in terms of their financial lives, actual documents supporting the information that we have to put it on the financial affidavit that we have to file with the court, bank statements, that sort of thing. So some of those things are very much in our client's control in terms of how quickly they are able to get those things over to us so that we can get them over to opposing counsel, file them with the court. That doesn't influence how the other half of a divorce behaves. And if one half is moving faster than the other, it doesn't necessarily make the whole thing move faster. A thing that we do encourage our clients to do, if it's at all possible, and sometimes it isn't, is to try to keep the doors of communication open with their spouses as much as they can keep those conversations going, and help us in terms of working towards an agreement, which is just a negotiation. That is really one of the things that can move a divorce along, rather than like going to your corners and drawing lines in the sand and, let the lawyers duke it out. Keeping communication open is really one of the best ways to move a divorce forward. And that goes every way that you can conceive of. Attorneys talking to each other in ways that are really eyed towards moving this process along so that our clients can get on with their lives. And clients themselves, if they're able to, again, and sometimes it's just not possible, but keeping those lines of communication open as well, so that basically information is just being shared and it's not being filtered through an angry lens or people, going to their corners lens. And we're really, even if it, the court's calendar is slow and we're not getting in to get help with the court that we might need, if we're able to keep talking, if our clients are able to keep talking to each other, and if the attorneys are able to keep talking to each other, and we're all able to keep communicating, that's really one of the most effective ways to move a divorce along and to try to take some time off of the timeline that I think a lot of people find very frustrating, and us included. If you're a person who's thinking about divorce, or that you want to get divorced and you have questions about the timeline, the process, or anything at all, please don't hesitate to call us. What I can promise you is that we'll tell you the truth.